we open wide the virtual stage where ideas spark and wisdom fills the page. From the UK to the land of maple trees, John and Mike bring clarity with ease. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine, your message taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine, your message taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we grow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show.
Hello everybody, welcome to Lord Zoom Live. I'm John, known by many as Lord Zoom. I'm a Zoom community champion. I am not an employee of Zoom. Today, we're going to have another look at Zoom Phone. We have our fellow community super champion, Eliot, on the call with us, who is going to show us how Zoom Phone organizes telephone received calls. In other words, when you have a mobile phone, it receives a call or it goes to an answering machine. But when you have Zoom Phone, you can have multiple lines, you can have multiple people answering multiple phones, and you can set up rules to connect those incoming calls to people, or you can have an automated response system which can tell them the various extensions that are available and pass the calls around. It's like having your own telephone exchange. It's really cool. And what's amazing about it, apart from the fact that I've just broken my phone by dropping it off the desk, the amazing thing about Zoom Phone is that it works on all your devices, just like meetings. So you can be anywhere, even dropped on the floor. You can be receiving calls, and then those calls can be directed around your virtual company, whether you're a pro user, a business user, or a corporate user. If you have the license added for Zoom Phone, which of course is included on Business Plus and higher accounts anyhow, you have the ability to have a whole phone system within your organization. Now, for me, I find that really cool, especially as I don't have all my team in this office. It doesn't matter, because the Zoom Phone follows you around wherever you log into your Zoom system. Whether you accept the phone call on your phone or on your tablet or on your PC, it really doesn't matter. To Zoom, it's just an endpoint, just like the way you log into Zoom meetings or events to get calls. I hope you're now excited, because I am. And let's bring on the stage with us Eliot, who's going to explain what this is all about and how it all works. And I have a PC over there set up on his call system. So we're going to try and live show it off. So welcome to you, Eliot.
Thank you very much. What I wanted to go over today is the ability, as John said, to route incoming calls to wherever those calls need to go. And the example that I'll be going through today is calls coming in to RMS Demo Company. And those calls could either be going to a sales group, it could be going to a billing group, could be going to a support group. And the callers will have the option to direct the calls to whatever area they need to connect to. And this is a capability that almost every business, from a small business that only has a few employees to very large enterprises, such as some of Zoom's largest Zoom phone clients that have over 250,000 users. So it can handle very small companies or even individuals and go way up to scale using the same technology. In this particular case, what we're going to start with is trying to determine how we want our system to work. And basically, what I'm going to be going through is using queues. That's QUEUE, a queue. Some people might say it's a line or something, but it's just a place where individual members of a particular department, as an example, the sales department, would have a number of members, and these members would be assigned to the sales queue, assuming that they had something to do with sales. And if the caller comes in and the caller is given a prompt, would you like to connect to the sales department or the support department or the billing department? They simply either have to say the word sales, or they can press a key on their telephone, such as pressing 1 for connections to the sales department. So that what we're going to do is to start with setting up the sales queue. The sales queue will be hooked to the interactive voice response system, which provides those prompts that says, for sales, say sales or press 1. For support, say support or press 2. Or billing, say billing or press 3. That in turn, that interactive voice response is connected to the auto receptionist. And the auto receptionist is the system that actually has the telephone number for the company. And that telephone number could be a local telephone number, or it could be a toll-free telephone number. So when a person calls in, they dial a number, and that number is associated with the auto receptionist. Then the auto receptionist hands it off to the interactive voice response system, which prompts the caller to select from a menu of 3, or it could be 10 or whatever number you want. And then that person will be connected to whatever queue they selected. In this particular example, I'm using the sales queue. So if they wanted to connect to the sales queue, they simply have to respond sales. And once the system hears the word sales, it will automatically connect them to the sales queue. John, maybe we can show the listener
I've got
what
the
it looks like for the auto receptionist, and this would be the auto receptionist for the RMS demo company.
Okay, so I've got the admin center. I've got the call queue up. Where do I go next?
Okay, so we want to go back to the admin, to the call queues. You can click on Admin Center, or there you go. Go to call queues. And what we want to do is go back I'm sorry, I'm confused. And I should say on the Admin Center, we want to go to phone system management. And then we want to go to auto receptionist. And then on auto receptionist, we want to pick the RMS demo. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it, but just to show you how the calls come in, it has a number assigned to it. In this case, it's like 213-878-1321. So somebody who wants to call in to the RMS demo would simply dial that number. Now,
Okay.
if we scroll down a little bit, and what we have is we have a little bit further. So we have the business hours. I set this up just for demo purposes to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In reality, most companies would put in, Monday through Friday and maybe 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, whatever.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, what we want to do is we're going to have a greeting prompt which says that this is the greeting prompt for RMS IVR. And if you click edit, can you click the button to the right that says edit? There we go. And what we want to do is we can create audio. We can create a text to speech, whatever it is. And in this particular case, what we're going to have on that RMS IVR, you can click the the RMS IVR. If you click that to the left, and okay, it's going to play it, but obviously you're not going to hear it. But if you move your cursor a little bit to the right, just a little bit, you want to get it. There you go. Click that. It still plays it.
It's probably my
what
settings. It is playing. I'm just going to try and get it to come through the system. Just give me 1 second. I need to turn some audio on, I think.
What we can do is we can go to edit one more time, and what we can do is we can actually display the text so you can see what it is. I put this particular one in my personal folder, but if you just go over and click the edit button,
say support or press to connect to support.
You got the audio. Great.
Yep.
So if you click edit, we can just show how that is created. And what we'll select here off of the edit screen, if you click the greeting prompt for the IVR, if you click the word edit, and what you'll see is choose from okay, so you see, select the audio. I'm having a hard time reading it. Personal audios. Okay, and we should see. Why am I not seeing it?
Maybe because
but go to the
your
assets.
personal audio.
Go to assets library. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And then what we should see, this is an after hours. If we go to,
this may be because I'm logged in as me rather as you, and you may have more
Yes, that's
options.
probably the reason that we're not seeing it. I'll fix that for the next one.
That's okay, Eliot. We still get the idea that there's an asset library, and I can record various greetings and prompts,
Right,
and then I can
we'll just
apply
take
them when I need them.
We'll just take a real quick look at the IVR, which is
Sure.
on the next screen. Okay, so the IVR menu, if you pressed 1, it would forward to the call queue, to the RMS sales call queue. If you press 2, it would go to the RMS support call queue. If you pressed 3, it would go to the RMS billing call queue. And so if the caller wanted to go to the sales call, queue, that caller would press 1. And so the next place that we're going to go is to the call queue itself. So we're right now, we're in the auto receptionist. We're going to go back to the admin center. And what we're going to do is go to the call queues. And so one of the call queues that we saw there, you scroll down a little bit. Okay, so we have the RMS sales call queue. And what we can do is just click that. And so in this particular case, it's just showing you for the profile, it says the site is RMS demo. If this was a real production, you would probably have it connected to your main site. In this particular case, I wanted to create a demo site, and so that's what I did. I haven't assigned a number to it, an outside number to it, because the calls are all coming through the auto receptionist, then to the IVR, and then they're being connected to the sales call queue.
Okay.
In this particular case, I just set up one member. Normally you would have 5 members, 10 members. Maybe in a very large one, you might have 15 members. And you can click the view or edit, and you can see who that member is. And so it's showing you that I'm the one member of this call queue. This is not realistic, because normally you would have, maybe 5 or 10 people, or at least a couple of more people than one. So we can go back to the RMS sales queue, and we can go down a little bit. Okay, and so in this particular case, I selected United States English, which is different from the real English. And the default transcription is English. And there's another item here, which is a routing override mode, which means that if I wanted to, I could assign people to be able to override the queue to temporarily redirect incoming calls to a different destination. Like suppose there was bad weather, and for whatever reason, the company decided to close early. And then if they wanted to, they could go in, instead of routing it to the members of the queue who are not around at the time, they could route it to voicemail or something. Again, the call queue can have its own business hours. In this case, I put 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but a particular call queue could be 24/7. Maybe for salespeople, they want to get those sales calls anytime, day or night. Other people may only want to be bothered by calls if it's within their normal working day. In addition, the members of the queue can also have different hours that they work. The call distribution, which is the next, is down a little bit. You have a number of different ways to distribute the calls to members of the queue. If it's a small queue, you might have it simultaneous. So everybody in that queue as members would get their telephone ringing at the same time. If you had a large queue, a large number of members, you might want to have some other method. And Zoom allows you a number of different methods. It can be the person or the member that is the longest idle time.
I like
Or
that.
it could be sequential. It goes from member 1 to member 2 to member 3. It could be rotating groups. It could be a number of different selections that you can have to ring the members of the queue in any order that you wanted. I had a customer that wanted to have 2 sales queues. And the sales queue, the first one was a normal sales queue that was answered by a certain group of people. But the owner of the company said, well, if there wasn't anybody available to take the sales call, I want them to call me or my second in command because I don't want to lose any sales business. So
Yeah,
there are ways to accomplish just about anything you want to do.
that's so cool.
And
This
then
is
we can continue on with this, or if there's any questions so far, happy to answer them.
well, my first reaction is this is so cool. This is a really good example of how Zoom produces something for their big corporates, and yet everybody else further down the tree still gets the option of the same features that are available to those people. And this is a very powerful call management system, isn't it?
It is, and in some cases, large enterprises may decide that they want to have some additional features, and Zoom offers two levels. One is what they used to call the Power Pack. It's now the Customer Engagement Pack, but it provides things like you can have a wall board in your call center and you can see real-time statistics, things like the number of people in the queue, average wait times, all sorts of useful statistics. You can go a step further and go to the Zoom Contact Center, which provides a lot of refinements on what you're seeing here, and also provides an omni-channel experience. The omni-channel means in addition to just voice, which is what we're looking at, you can also have it take care of emails, chats, and video engagements, whatever. So you can have all sorts of additional features. But for a lot of companies, this fits the bill, and
Yep.
it's very easy to set up, and it has a lot of great features. And as I mentioned, you can have a system where you're having one sales queue that calls a second sales queue, and this gives you tremendous flexibility in terms of designing what it is that you want to do. To set this up, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do. One of the things that Zoom has done is that they have pretty good support articles on how you set up the auto receptionist, how you set up the interactive voice response system, and also how you set up call queues. And they even have diagrams showing you this is what it looks like. And I find that the visual presentation is a great addition to a lot of words, because somebody said a picture is worth, I don't know, 100 words or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a diagram helps you when you're trying to route these things. It's like building a tree structure, isn't it, together and making sure they all get to the right departments at the right point. But just to have these features is wonderful.
Yes, and the other thing is that some competitors actually charge fees for their, if you want to have a call queue, it's a slight additional charge. But Zoom provides it to you, and they're constantly enhancing it. The other thing which Zoom has done is in addition to using, your touch tone pad on your phone, press 1 or press 2 or whatever, it actually understands a voice. So if you tell it, sales, it will connect you to the sales queue. If you tell it support, it'll connect you to the support queue. And it does a pretty good job of understanding voices. I didn't even have to train it. It automatically understood. And it also allows you to have additional synonyms. So if you think that somebody might not understand the word sales, maybe it's, solicitation, or maybe it's some other word. And so you can have a number of words that the system will automatically, if it hears one of these other words, it will connect you to the appropriate cue.
Okay.
So I think people should be able to see that this is a pretty powerful tool. It's pretty easy to configure it. I think that maybe the first time you do it might take a little bit of time, but it works, and it's a very useful tool.
Mike, have we got any questions, or have you got any questions? Because I know you used to do quite a bit in the arena of telephone systems, voice, internet-based telephone systems.
I don't, but hi, everybody. I don't have any questions right now, and I'm double checking on our friends on YouTube, and currently there are no questions. So far, so good, gentlemen.
Thank you for checking.
Yeah. So on to the next step, I guess, John and Elliot.
We can go a little bit further on the call queue. It's pretty straightforward. On the other hand, I think this is a decent introduction to it. We'll
Okay,
know.
so Eliot, can I suggest then that if it works, and I think it will, what I'll do now is I'll call in so people can see how it works from the phone point of view.
Yes, you can call in, and you can. I don't know whether you have the number from that you can use. I can also call in with one of my phones, and Zoom has options such as, if you're on a Zoom meeting call, do you want to be disturbed or not? And the way that I have this set up is don't disturb me. But you can set it up that you can actually get calls even if you're on a Zoom call. You may not want to do that, but I can. You have a. I'm not. We can add you to the call queue as a member. And
is the demo number the one that ends 1321?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I will dial that into my phone and I will call the queue. And I think, did I have it showing on the screen just now? Let's see if I can. We did show it, didn't we, Mike? If I remember rightly.
Yes, you did.
How did I do that?
I think that's it.
Was that it?
Oh, that's it. I think you were using your camera.
I know how I can do it. Here we
There
are.
we go.
I knew I'd set it up somewhere. So let's make a call. Now this is going to confuse me because I'm actually in New York according to this system. So let's go and see what we can do here.
This is your New York office.
This is my New York office, which I didn't know I had until you gave me the phone number for it. So that's very kind of you. Right, let's see if we can do this. So
You can just dial 213. That's fine. Either way. It's 13. Yeah, you got it.
Say sales or press 1 to connect. Say support or press. Say billing or press connect. This is RMS hello. Say sales or press 1 to. Say support or press. Say billing or press.
sales, please.
Please wait while we connect your call. This call is being transcribed by AI.
This is Eliot at Sales.
Hi, Elliot. This is John from New York. Great to speak to you again.
Very, very good. It works.
It works. And what not only does it work, we were able to demonstrate it. That's even
That's
more
right.
amazing.
That's right.
Thank you
Very
very
good.
much.
Take care.
And for you people that have always had to set up a demo, you'll be impressed that we got that to work straight away. Even Mike's smiling that we got that to work in one go. And if you're
And that we heard it too. That was more of the
and that we
impressive
heard
part.
it too.
It was very, very clear. It was good.
If you're feeling underwhelmed by what we just did, then in a way, that's the whole secret behind this. It is just so easy.
In the old days, this would have been, a major project with lots of people running around in white coats, trying to get this to work. And with Zoom, it's so easy. And the other piece of it is that it's amazing. I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mike is in Canada and John is in London. And it's like we're all in the same room. It's really amazing. And then you can actually demo a call queue and asking for that call queue by saying sales. And it didn't even get confused when John said sales, being very polite to the machine, saying sales, please. And it didn't even get distracted by the word please. But if you wanted to, when you set up the IVR, you could have sales, please, whatever you want to put in there. But this certainly demonstrates how easy it is and how effective it is in terms of like supporting your sales team or your billing team or whatever it is that you want. When you get into the more advanced things like if you're going into contact center, it can actually figure out from the call intent what you want to do. You don't even have to say select sales or billing. You can just say, I want some information about a product. And it's smart enough to be able to take those words and translate that to an intent. The intent is that I need to speak to somebody in sales. But this is this one, you if you go to contact center, you do pay a little bit of money, but it's also very cost effective. Anyway, to me, this is it. And if anybody wants to go into more depth, we can put on our site a listing of the Zoom support articles, which go through the call queues, go through the IVR, and go through the auto receptionist. But as I think you can see from what we were looking at, it's pretty intuitive and pretty easy to pretty easy to see. Pretty easy to implement is what I should say. I can't hear you. Oh, maybe.
So you start with a call coming in then, Eliot, and the
Yes.
call it would be like the top of the tree.
Yes.
And then the next step down could be somebody who could answer it.
Yes.
Or it could be an IVR, which could send it off into different directions for different people.
Yes.
And every step of the way around this tree, you've all got the same abilities to set your hours. You've got your ability to set your voicemail. You've got your ability to say what happens when you're there or you're not there. But what I like about this even more is that because you've got those options in every step, if somebody goes on holiday or is away from their desk, or they're away for the day and they can't take calls, you can just go into your little base where you are, and you can just say, okay, well, I can't do any calls today. And you can just choose where they go. So they go somewhere else. So somebody else picks them up for you. And then
and so, correct. And Zoom added another type of absence, which is a work break. In the United States, in most states, the pharmacists have to take at least a 30-minute lunch break, and they can't answer any calls. They have to close the window to the pharmacy.
Yeah.
And different pharmacies would have different hours, but one of them might be from 1 o'clock to 1:30, or maybe 1:30 to 2 p.m. So you can actually put in work breaks so that you can, during those work breaks, you can have calls going to voicemail, or whatever it is that you want to do. You have an announcement. I'm sorry, the pharmacists are out for their meal break or whatever. They're returning at 2 o'clock. If you can leave a message and we'll return the call. Anyway, it handles just about everything that you can imagine. And as I said, some of the other ones like the Zoom Customer Engagement Pack and the Zoom Contact Center add many more features to it. But for a lot of small to medium-sized companies, this will fit the bill pretty nicely.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it worked very nicely. And as you say, because this is Zoom, you don't physically have to all be in the same building. You can be all around the world and just pass calls between each other, just like you had Zoom meetings with each other. You can pass calls to each other. And of course, all internal calls are within your internal system. So if I phone Eliot through this system, I'm not paying for any phone calls because I'm not going outside of Zoom.
That's correct. And that is certainly a major factor for a couple of points, one of which is you can see that John placed a call from London, and I got a notification on my phone in Las Vegas, and it could be that you could have people around the world. You could, like, I think some companies used to say the sun never sets on our empire or whatever. And so they might have an operation in Asia. They might have an operation, in Europe. They might have an operation in South America or wherever. And these people can work together, and you don't incur any long distance charges, or you're not paying for it. And the voice quality is amazing. One of my colleagues was visiting Hong Kong and called my extension from his extension on Zoom, and it sounded like he was in the next room. And it's just amazing what Zoom has been able to do to be able to facilitate global calling, and with tremendous quality of the quality of the audio is outstanding.
And of course, you have to remember that when I'm using my mobile phone, I'm actually still making a call in Zoom because I've got Zoom installed in my phone. So I'm not making a phone call necessarily from my contract with my phone provider. I'm making a phone call through my Zoom phone app, and therefore it's straight into a Zoom phone. And at the moment, because of this demo, I've got an office in America.
Yes.
Which is just mad.
At any rate, I think it's really a miracle. It's a miracle of modern technology, and it's only getting better. Zoom, I think, is spending something like $800 million a year on R&D, research and development. And some of that research and development is still going into their voice systems, and they constantly are enhancing it. Of course, they're adding tons of artificial intelligence, and that's why when you're looking at the captions, you'll see that the captions are really pretty good in terms of their accuracy, and also amazing in terms of the speed. As soon as I say a word, I'm seeing it on the screen.
Well, of course, we must remember that we have that AI feature within Zoom Phone itself, don't we? So we've got
Yes.
the ability to get transcripts of all our phone calls if you want them. You can record all your phone calls if you want to make use of them for business. So those features are also available to you. So not only do you get transcripts of all your meetings, you can get transcripts of all your phone calls so that you get a call summary, and it's really very neat.
And it can also help you to remember that during this phone call, so-and-so agreed to do this, and so-and-so agreed to do that. And so you can hold people to what they agreed to. And in the olden days, people would spend hours trying to summarize a call, typically from memory. And this certainly saves a lot of time. And from my own experiments, I find that the transcripts and the summaries are pretty decent. They're not 100%, but they're probably 99% from what I've seen, and a hell of a lot better than what most individuals can do in terms of summarizing their calls.
I'm just, I'm speechless. I really am. I know, because like you, Mike, I've dealt with, these VoIP systems in the past, but to have it literally at your fingertips in Zoom, you don't need an admin to set it up. You just change your account. If your hours change, if you have a different lunch hour to other people, you just change your personal lunch hour, and it all just works it all out. It is, and yet it's so simple. I'm really more impressed with Zoom Phone every time I use it.
Yeah. And again, right now in our current environment, right now we are still VoIP. So I do see a lot of the additional features that are coming out from Zoom that, compared to when we were talking to Zoom last year, to actually move our phone system over, that we were looking at Zoom Phone. And of course, a lot has changed in this past year. to make it a lot more user friendly. And of course, the packages and such have changed as well, and the features, of course. But yeah, absolutely. Right now, I do see the difference between the two with our system. Again, it's a lot of, either myself or is someone on my IT team that actually has to go in and actually make the actual changes, to the actual system, unless you can actually do it via the actual physical phone through the actual menus that are in the phone, or if there's not really, with the current provider that we have, really a GUI interface per user where they can actually go in and actually make that modification themselves. So that's the big difference in that regards for us.
I think one of the things that might be interesting to show is what you can do in terms of the phone system management, in terms of devices. Maybe you could bring that screen up.
Yeah, sure.
So we can just show it real quick. So I think right now we're in the call queues. We want to go back. And we want to go, okay, let me see here. We want to go to,
Devices.
yes, I think we're still in the, go back one level. Okay. You're in the admin. Go down to phone system management. Can you get to that? It's a little bit different. Where are we? Can you go back to like personal? Can you go to personal? Okay. Okay. Now what we want to do is go down, and we should be able to get to the admin. Okay, let's
Admin
go to
center?
admin center.
Yeah.
This is the account profile. Okay, go back.
Well,
What I'm trying to get to is phone system management. And your screen looks a little bit different than mine.
yeah, I've squashed it to make it bigger. It's a bit distorted.
Okay.
Not in product.
Okay, phone system. Here we go. Here we go. Keep going a little bit further down. Oh, okay, we got here phones and devices. Click phones and devices. So here you'll see all sorts of phones that I have on the system. Let's go
Yep.
to a user. So we're going to go back to users. This is phone system management users and rooms. Okay, and then what you want to do is go down to the bottom and then click 50, because I got like 35 users on here. So you want to go to 50 per page, and then just go to the bottom. Click mine, click Eliot. Okay, and then we will go back up a little bit so I can see the headings. User settings. And then we're going to scroll down. Keep going down. Keep going down a little bit more. More. Okay. Whoa. Okay. So now you can see the phones that I have. I have a Poly VVX 450 and a Poly Edge 450. Right?
Yep.
So let's just click the Poly Edge 450. You just click, it says desk phone. Okay, so scroll down. Okay, so here it's telling you that 450 has got the firmware version is 850.1491. Tells
Yep.
you the MAC address, It
Because it's
also
just a
has,
network.
don't
It's just a
click,
network device, isn't it? For
yeah,
those people that
don't,
don't realize, it's just a network device sitting on the internet.
yes, and don't click on it, but you'll see a 192.168 address. And
Yeah.
that 192.168 address will take you to that particular phone, so you can actually connect to that phone if you wanted to run some diagnostics or whatever.
Wow.
Let me go back one step, go back one level. Go to, okay. And so what we have here, go up a little bit. I just want to show you one other thing here. So this is, we want to go to user again. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's phone system management users. And we want to go back and select myself again. And you can set it to 50 and then just go to the bottom. Okay, and then go to me and then go to, scroll up a little bit just so you can see it. User settings and scroll down. And you're going to scroll down just before you see the phones. Go down a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, now, wait, okay, you see it says keys and positions and a primary number,
Yep.
and you see viewer edit.
Yep.
Click viewer edit. And then scroll up. And so what this is telling you is that on that particular phone, I have the first key is that extension number and that telephone number. The second key is an extension number for a shared line group. And what
Okay.
it means is, and Mike, this might be of interest to you, is that you can actually change what's on the phone from this screen. So you don't have to send somebody out. So let's say you want to click manage key. Click manage key on the upper left. And what we want to do is we want to go down to key number 3 and click set key. Now click the down arrow there. And this gives you the options that you can select. So sometimes people want to do a busy lamp field. This can tell you, is somebody on their phone? So you could see their status. You could do intercom. So let's say it's a boss admin scenario. So you could have an intercom line for both the boss and the admin. And what that means, if somebody dials that intercom number, that phone will go off hook and answer that call. You can do paging, you can do all sorts of stuff. But at any rate, let's just try a speed dial. So let's say I wanted to speed dial the RM. We want to put in a number. So we can just put in the number. Let's put in the 213-878-1321. And they will put the alias. So we'll call it RMS demo. And then we'll go down to the bottom of the screen and click save. And what will happen is that my phone will be reconfigured. So it now has a speed dial. So, and that speed dial will be labeled RMS demo. My phone is just rebooting, and I don't know whether you can see it on here or not. At any rate,
it's close though, but we see that it's, yeah.
I see it's doing something.
So what's happened is that the speed dial is now my third button. And if I wanted to, I could just press it. And
I can hear the demo.
Press 1 to connect to.
Please wait while we connect your.
any rate, The bottom line is you can see how easy it is to configure your phones, even though John from London or Mike from Canada could go in and configure my phone in Las Vegas without having to send anybody out to do that configuration. But there's tons of this stuff. This is just scratching the surface, and it's just absolutely amazing what Zoom has been able to do. But I guess with $800 million a year for R&D, you can do a lot.
Yeah, but this is such a
And
fantastic
they also make
example.
money.
They
You
also
know,
make money. Yeah.
And they also
yes.
make money. And so a lot of the other VoIP companies do not make a whole lot of money.
This is such a great example of how the big, and I know I've said it already on this call, I don't make an apology for saying it again, how all the great features that they will give to their 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 line customers, those features are just filtering down to the rest of us. So if they're useful for us to be able to do these things, they're there. It's just mind blowing. I thought Zoom Events was mind blowing, but this is just like, well,
It
just
totally
changes
amazing.
the whole way of thinking about things, doesn't it? The whole
Yep.
way of thinking about how you deal with a company that's distributed, how you take phone calls. Now you can be virtually anywhere and still be in the office if you want,
That's true.
or not have an office, and people just perceive that they do, because there are still people that think when they dial a particular number. For the smaller users, Eliot.
I'll just give you one other example. I did a company, or actually a bank in New Jersey, and they were using a VIA IP office. They had about 400 employees. They had about 30 locations in 2 states. They were in New York and New Jersey. And they were using, I think, 7 different VoIP vendors in addition to Avaya. And the Avaya system was using something called time division multiplexing, which was many years ago, but still in use in some telephone scenarios. At any rate, we put in Polycom VVX model phones on people's desks, and their old Avaya phones continued to ring until we did the port. When we did the port, all the phones, after the calls were completed on Avaya, the new calls came in on the Zoom system. We were waiting with bated breath to see if we got any calls, people complaining about something. Bottom line is we didn't get any calls, and everybody's phone was working perfectly. And Zoom also makes it easy that you can port your numbers, and you can put the numbers that you're going to port in your Zoom system. And to test and whatever, you can use as many temporary numbers as you want. And when the port happens, at that point in time, you're now getting all the calls that were going to the old Avaya system are now just coming in. And to me, it was the smoothest operation that I ever saw. The CFO was very interested in it because they reduced their spend on telecom phone system from around 300,000 a year to less than 100,000 a year. So it was like a over 60% reduction in cost, and things actually worked. And the old Avaya system, sometimes the voicemail didn't work so good. You had
Yep.
hum and whatever, and everything. And this was almost 5 years ago. And 5 years ago, Zoom did not have anywhere near the amount of features and so forth that that exist today, but they were sufficient for a bank with 400 employees and 30 locations. As I mentioned, some of their larger customers of Zoom have upwards to over 250,000 users. But anyway, I think it's great, and and as somebody said, it just works, and it just works 99.99% of the time, maybe 99.999% of the time. And you can see the Zoom status, and which is available, and you can see if anything is down. Sometimes in a particular geographic location, something will be down. But overall, the reliability is phenomenal.
Yeah. And it's usually due, when there are faults, it's usually due to the service providers who are connecting these systems together. And for those people who think, I don't need phones because I've got phones already, I've got some bad news for you. There is very little copper phone systems left in the world. The UK, here, we have pretty much ripped up most of it now, and it's all now running on the internet. So whether you are using an old style phone or a new style phone, many people in the UK, they get broadband and they get no telephone because now there's no separate line for it. The phone is supposed to go through the internet. Almost all of the UK is converted over. I know a lot of the States is, and most countries are converting over to it. So there is no such thing as a landline now. It's an internet phone, and that internet phone can be Zoom.
Yes.
And yes, that means you've got one device that does your calls, your meetings, your texts, because we all use the messenger function of Zoom now. We all run groups in there. It's, as you say, Eliot, this is a utility company. What we're talking about here is really utility company features, but it's a utility company that is transparent to where you physically are. You just need a signal from the internet, and it makes a profit. And because it makes a profit, it is constantly adding new features, which we all get. Whether we are one person or 100,000 people, we all get those Zoom features as standard. And if you want to run a call center, you want to run a marketing team, you want to do inbound or outbound calls, you don't have to put all your team into a room round a desk with a line of phones. You can leave them at home, and they can all be at their various homes doing it. And you can stagger their breaks, so you've always got cover, and you can tell the system when each one is available, not available. And as you said, when I'm in a Zoom meeting, I can set it so people can't phone me and disrupt me while I'm in the middle of a meeting, whether it be a Zoom meeting or a Zoom webinar. Eliot, this is just overwhelmingly underwhelming, if you know what I mean. The way to use this software is just underwhelming, because it just seems, oh, you just click that and it's done. But what it gives you is just, it's just so much fun. I can see why you enjoyed talking to everyone about Zoom Phone, because it's, in a way, it's more exciting than talking about a Zoom meeting, Mike, isn't it? We can screen share, of course, but we can't divert calls and people around as much as they can when they're using Zoom phones.
That's for sure.
I think one of the things that the bank used for their conference calls is that they actually use Zoom meetings, because you can have, they had license for, I don't know, 1,000 users or whatever, but it was that was something that they found that, hey, for our conference calls, that works. And they also found, like, for the board of directors frequently were not always coming to the physical meetings, but if they were not coming to the physical meetings, they would hop on a Zoom call. So
Yeah.
all of these things are just, I think, very, very useful for small to medium-sized businesses, all the way up to very large enterprise clients.
Yeah. We've had calls, we've had meetings. Mike have been on and I have been on meetings, and after the meeting closes, we'll then still be discussing a particular point that was raised during a meeting, and we can use the message, the chat function as it's called in Zoom, to group chat. We can have that conversation, continue that conversation, and sometimes we then just call each other through Zoom, and we just start an impromptu Zoom meeting to discuss that feature, and then we'll end the meeting and it's all there as well. It's just so easy to get in and out of conversations that you can have those conversations when you want them. You haven't got to, book a train to go, I need to get a train at 3:30 so I can go and have a meeting with Mike. Well, in that case, I'd have to book a call to Heathrow and get on a plane to go and see Mike.
There you go.
I need an even bigger plane to go and see Eliot. But people say, "Oh, John, aren't you on your own?" No, I've got an entire telephone directory of Zoomies and customers and contacts, and I can have a chinwag with them on video, on audio, on phone, on text. And of course, because you have that status thing, you know when they're free.
That's true too.
And then it's not like you're disturbing them in the middle of something, because you know what their status is. You know they're free. And if they're not free, you can just leave a message or in any of the ways, including a telephone. I just love it. I think, I think Zoom Phone is, well, I know it's making a big effect, because in the UK, we've had a lot of health authorities who've started using it now. And of course, that's another example, like a bank, of a distributed organization over many buildings, probably many sites. And they can just use this system to connect together, put in the right phone system, and there you are. So
we're probably preaching to the choir, but anyway, I think you're being able to do that demo should impress everybody.
Well, to do the demo and to show the phone system as well, that is a double.
Yes.
That's a double success. That is.
Yeah.
It really is that easy. And of course, you can run part of Zoom Phone on your browser as well. So you don't even have to have, what's really mad, you don't even have to have Zoom installed, the program. You can use the browser version. As long as you can get a microphone and you can get to hear what your browser does, you can make calls in your browser as well, which is just, I mean, that's just, mind blowing. So thank you, Eliot, so much for coming back to us again with some great examples, and to show us the simplicity of this system is fantastic.
Great. Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, that's all right. I think I'll make a few more call queues in my call system, so I feel more important. And then I'll know.
There are small companies who have multiple call queues, and they may have the same 2 or 3 people, or maybe one person actually being the member of each of the call queues, so that they can appear to be a larger organization. But it's got lots of possibilities.
Yeah. And also you can screen things like that, because then you can have different departments work different opening hours. So as you say, sales may open the whole day, but accounts is only going to be open for so many number of hours, and maybe marketing for a short number of hours as well. Oh, I love it. Well, that was an hour and all we did was play with call queues, but that was great fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're inspired to have a go yourself. As we said, you only need a license for one telephone line, and you can have your own call queues as well. So thank you, Eliot, again, very much for coming on. Look forward to seeing you again very soon when we'll find something else interesting to talk about Zoom Phone. Thank you, Mike, for keeping all the windows and the scenes and everything ticking over and keeping an eye on the chat for us. And so it is time for the end of another Lord Zoom Live. And I have to pass over to Mike because he's much better at this than I am. To you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And to everyone that joined us this week, thank you for joining us. Another edition of using Zoom Phone. And I hope you got a lot out of this. And Eliot will be definitely coming back because there's so much that we haven't talked about yet when it comes to Zoom Phone. So Eliot, we'll have you back here very, very soon, possibly next month. So don't forget to join us every week here for Lord Zoom Live as we dive into all things around Zoom. Meetings, all the different features, different products that Zoom has available for you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to let YouTube know. And of course, that also lets Zoom know how much you love our content. And we're always here every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And check your local time zones for to make sure that you can join us live and actually join us either in our webinar or in the actual YouTube and LinkedIn live feeds. If you do have any questions beyond the show, definitely let us know in the comments and we will get back to you as well. See everyone next week for another Lord Zoom Live. Take care. And don't forget to join us this Friday for Production Professionals Power Hour. Take care, everyone. Have a good week.
Every week we open wide the virtual stage where ideas spark and wisdom fills the page. From the UK to the land of maple trees, John and Mike bring clarity with ease. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine your message, taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine your message, taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we grow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show. From big events to breakout rooms with flair, we've got the tools and we're ready to share. Guest experts drop in, bringing gold each time, with insights and tricks to help you climb. Can't make it live? We've got you still on YouTube and LinkedIn. We're giving that thrill, so tune in later or catch us next round. Either way, your success is where we're bound. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we glow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show. And make it live, we've got you still. On YouTube and LinkedIn, we're giving that thrill. So tune in later or catch us next round. Either way, your success is where we're bound. Now take the spotlight, the stage is yours. Bring your message through virtual doors. Each week we gather, and now you know you're not alone, so let it flow. Thank you for joining us, now go and shine. Share what you've learned, your voice, your time. With Lord Zoom Live, your power will grow. It's time to build your own show.
In progress.